Hello and welcome back to another episode of Sports Nerds in the Morning. Today is Monday, May 13th, and the NBA Conference Finals are officially set. In the East, we got the Milwaukee Bucks playing the Toronto Raptors, and in the West, we got the Portland Trail Blazers facing off against the Golden State Warriors. So, I'm Josh Golden, and I'm here today with
Caleb Posner,
Milad,
Jordan Goldman, Jake Berman.
So, guys, what do you think about the Conference Finals?
Warriors in 4.
I actually
He's going to
completely
jump right to
disagree.
it. Warriors in 4.
So if
Build
we're
a
talking
little
about the
suspense
West,
here, bud. I mean,
if we're talking about the West, I actually completely disagree. First off, the Warriors had trouble with the Clippers. Okay, I mean, come on now, they didn't win in 4 games. That's ridiculous. So now they're gonna go and play the Trailblazers, who have been clutch. That's just all you can say about their playoff run so far. They got C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard in the backcourt. I think that's a really scary backcourt.
absolutely.
Unfortunately, they have Enes Kanter fasting for Ramadan.
That's amazing.
That's not helpful.
That's
But
incredible.
for him to get a double while
No,
this guy ate at
this guy is
3:25 in the
fasting.
morning.
This guy is fast.
Hold
He
on.
is not eating or drinking
This-
while the sun is up.
This-
And he's still playing high-level NBA basketball.
This guy went and ate at 3:25 a.m. Okay, and he didn't eat at all. Shows up to the game and gets a double.
I don't understand
In
how
Game
he does
7.
it. It's
Impressive.
remarkable.
It's beyond remarkable. It's extremely impressive. Sadly, obviously, the Blazers would be even better with Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah.
Obviously, they don't have him. So, I disagree with you, Jake. Warriors in 4. I say Warriors in 5. The Blazers take a game. And KD's out game 1. We'll see what happens. I really can't see the Blazers winning at the Oracle regardless.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say
Here's the
I'm gonna
thing.
say Warriors in 6.
The Warriors in 4.
I'm going to say Warriors in 7.
I actually agree with that. Even.
7.
I'm going to say
Yeah.
Warriors in
6 or
7.
7.
I really like Portland. I think they're playing really well
I
right
do
now.
like
I think they're
Portland,
heating
yeah.
up. I think this is the best season they've had. I think Lillard and McCollum are both going crazy right now, and
Yeah.
Enes Kanter's playing pretty well. Why can't they take him to 7 games?
The Splash Brothers is one of the highlights of the Warriors, right? I mean, I know we have Durant and Draymond, but now you have a team that can match up, tick for tack with them, not only shooting, defense, everything. So I'm actually really interested to see that match.
Yeah, and the Warriors don't tend to get to the finals that easily. They always have a tough series here and there. So
they had the what was it last year? The Rockets.
They went to 7 with the Rockets last year.
And the Thunder. No.
That was 2 years ago. Or 3 years ago.
Okay. No, but I'm not talking about the finals. I'm talking about even before that. You know, they had a lot of 7-game series.
Yeah.
And they still make it to the finals, but
Look,
I don't think it's gonna
I
be-
think the thing we all think, though, regardless, is
the Warriors.
win.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously. That's
4,
not really a
5,
question.
4, 5, 6, 7 games. To me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The Warriors win this game, and then they beat whoever the Raptors and the Bucks winner is.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's why it's not fun to talk about this anymore.
But I'd love for the Blazers to win.
If we had this podcast 6, 7 years ago, you know, when LeBron first joined the Heat, it was never a thing where the Heat are going to win the championship every year.
Exactly.
We expected the Heat to get there, but there were years where it was close, and I mean it was really close. There was a couple Celtics teams that almost beat the Heat. Pacers. The Heat had trouble getting there.
Close.
The Mavericks beat the Heat. The Spurs beat the Heat. The Thunder made it to the finals. It was mix-ups for the past,
Correct.
4 years?
The past 4 years, it's been Cavs Warriors.
Cavs Warriors,
Yeah.
and now it's Warriors whoever else. And I don't see that ending unless Katie leaves.
And I said it on the last podcast. There were guys like Shane Battier, Ray Allen hitting clutch shots to get their team, wins in crucial games. That's why I'd really love to see the Trailblazers play, because then you see a guy like C.J. McCollum come out of nowhere and lead
Exactly.
their team.
Damian
Evan Turner.
Lillard.
Evan Turner.
Like I
kinda
said on
came
the
off
last
bench
podcast.
now.
You're talking about clutch shots. Damian Lillard.
Exactly.
This man, to get...
We'll save clutch shots for the East, but yes.
I think you're forgetting what happened in the first round of the playoffs when Damian Lillard hit a remarkable deep three-pointer.
that was
that
incredible.
picture they
Stupid
took.
shot.
That
Stupid
picture they
shot,
took looks
but
like an
incredible.
ad.
Doesn't
That
matter
picture
if it
they
was
took.
stupid. He
Correct.
made it.
That picture they took looks like an ad to me.
Uh-huh.
It looks
Okay.
like an ad. It looks like a commercial.
And I think we can all agree that the Warriors are going to beat whoever comes out of the East. So can we get to the real NBA
No,
news?
I think we need to. We'll get to the real NBA news in a second, Jake. You'll see what we're talking about. But we need to talk about the Raptors Bucks, especially after the 2 series that they just had. The Bucks embarrassed the Celtics.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought it was going to be a much closer series.
Because
And
the
Kyrie will
Celtics,
never put on a Celtics jersey
because the
again.
Celtics were consistently overrated. I don't care that they got hot at the end of the season. I don't care that they swept an Oladipo-less Pacers. They were overrated.
They're not that good.
They were so
They're
overrated.
really not.
They're not that good.
Beyond overrated,
No wonder the
though,
Bucks beat them in 5.
but that's beyond overrated. What I love about the Bucks is they play some of the best team basketball
absolutely.
besides the Warriors. You know, you have your Giannis.
Portland plays pretty good team.
Portland
basketball.
plays-
And so does Toronto.
That's what I'm saying. These 4 teams, the one thing I'll give these 4 teams is finally we don't have a Cavaliers team where it's one guy just dragging them into the
Correct.
finals.
I
We
mean,
have- we have,
yes, the Bucks play team basketball, but Giannis is putting team.
Okay, but you
But
can
it's
say the
not
same thing about
dragging.
the Raptors and Kawhi.
That's the thing. What I'm
Like,
saying,
Correct.
it's not,
Correct.
but it's not Giannis dragging them. It's Giannis leading them, but leading.
Correct.
You have Chris Middleton, who's an all-star, who's been turning it up. Brooke Lopez can play
Killing
good
it.
basketball. Exactly.
Killing it.
Playing
Legendary.
good basketball. Malcolm Brogdon,
Yeah.
good point guard to have. That is a good team. And they have other guys. That team runs deep.
Yep.
Ersan Ilyasova, you know?
Ersan Ilyasova.
How is that guy still in the
I
league?
don't
know.
understand. I
Love
don't
him.
understand. But that is a good basketball team. And they're
Go back
playing
when he was relevant, like 7 years ago.
Was he even relevant?
A little bit.
a little bit.
Like a little bit. Didn't he make an All-Star game one time? I think he
I
did.
think.
But Josh, that's the thing. The
Okay.
Bucks are playing another great team. You have Kawhi leading them, but that's a deep team too. They went and got Gasol.
Pascal.
Obviously,
Love my boy
Pascal.
Pascal.
obviously, Kyle Lowry.
Of course.
That's a good Van Fleet is
Fred Van Fleet is good.
Fred Van
He's
Fleet's a
good.
good player.
Norman Powell too is not bad
Exactly.
at all.
It is both teams in the East are great team basketball teams. They play great team basketball. They have a star. They have a secondary star.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the Leonard Lowry duo, and then you've got the Giannis Middleton duo. That series to me is going 7 games, and I
agree with
really don't know who's going to
It's
win
a coin flip in my opinion.
it. I agree too.
I think Giannis is too good. I really do. I
Did you
think
see the Raptors series?
yeah.
no,
I mean,
Kawhi's insane, but I think this Giannis kid is really
this
something
Giannis
special.
kid.
He's
Okay,
like
Josh.
25.
This Giannis.
How old are you?
Shut up. But
What Josh meant to say, not this Giannis kid. Giannis is
Okay.
really good.
Giannis is
He's
insane.
not a kid anymore. He's a grown man. Have you
Hold
seen
on,
his
shut up.
dunks? He's a grown man. Please.
He's insane.
He
Come
is
on,
insane. So
He's
is Kawhi
incredible.
Leonard.
This is the first time Giannis has really come out into the playoffs and competed.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna make the finals. I just
Also-
think he's too good.
I
don't
think
Kawhi's gonna stop
we
him.
need to have a moment of silence though for the Philadelphia 76ers.
No,
Because
absolutely not.
what a way to lose. What
Yeah.
a way to lose. Joel Embiid walking off the floor crying to his girlfriend. When we lost in game 7.
I
Thank
love
you.
that. I love that.
Simmons,
I love that
Kendall
so much because
Jenner.
I love when like someone who talks just so much trash gets
Exactly.
shut up like that.
Exactly.
Listen,
Yeah.
I
love
like,
it too. I was being sarcastic. I love it, Jay. Continue though.
Like, I love Embiid. I love Joel Embiid, but he had that coming.
Yeah.
Like,
The Sixers play with this cocky swag. The Sixers on paper should have beat
100%.
the Raptors.
What?
when your
With the
starting
Celtics and the
lineup,
Bucks.
when your starting
On
lineup is
paper?
Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Jimmy
Tobias-
Butler, Tobias Harris, and JJ Redick.
Yes, you should be the best team in the East
No, you shouldn't.
On paper?
on
On
paper.
paper.
On paper, maybe.
That's what we're talking
That's
about.
what we're talking about. On paper, fine, Josh. Let me correct ourselves for you. The most talented roster on paper in the East belongs to the Philadelphia 76ers,
Yes.
and it's not close.
Without a
Yes.
doubt.
But Ben Simmons still does not know how to shoot a basketball.
But they don't play team basketball.
Exactly.
Again,
It's like
And Ben Simmons
watching
does
the
not know how to shoot a
Sixers
basketball.
is like watching Kentucky play, where it's just these like one and done
Exactly.
guys coming in playing like one-on-ones against
correct.
crappy 16 seeds.
But Kentucky produces sometimes.
Jake, and and I think the thing for
Not
me
against
is
Auburn.
Look,
That's right.
I've been bored by the NBA in the past couple years because of the fact that it's just the
100%.
same thing.
100%.
But what we're seeing this year, and especially with the free agency madness that's going to take place in the offseason, the NBA could be correcting itself finally.
Yes. Fine.
Because you have 4 teams that play team basketball that do have bona fide stars, but the Warriors are the only super team. And as much as I hate them, as much of a super team as they are,
They play
They're gonna
great,
they
lose
play
Kevin
great
Durant.
team
incredible
basketball.
team basketball. Josh, shut up. We don't know if they're going to lose Kevin
They're
Durant
gonna
yet.
lose Kevin Durant.
I think they are.
I think
too.
they are too. But
I think they
I'm
are.
just talking about the
Not
now.
for the Knicks, but that's. A
I'm
different
just
argument.
talking about
I
the
would
now,
possibly go.
and I'm saying that finally in the playoffs, we have great examples of team basketball again, and maybe, just maybe, the NBA is correcting itself. And while the NBA may be correcting itself in these teams, and again, I mean, do you guys agree it's going to be a coin flip? You think the Bucks are going to win, Josh?
I think the Bucks are going to win,
What do you
but I
think,
think it's
Jordan?
going to be a closer series.
Okay.
It's a coin flip.
Basketball's
Seriously,
boring.
like.
I feel it.
I don't really know what else to say. It's,
I
these
really think
teams
it's
are
going
bit,
to
like talent-wise, they're very similar.
Here's the thing
they
that's
match
They
up
play
very-
very similar
Here's the thing that's
basketball.
interesting to me, though. These
I
are
think-
two very similar teams, and they're both two teams, which we don't see very often in today's NBA. But I do think it's going to come down to who plays better between Giannis and Kawhi,
So, in my opinion,
and that's why I think the Bucks are going to win.
assuming the Warriors go to the finals, I mean, I know we're all assuming that, and it's pretty fair to say based on the past record. I think this series might be a little bit different, but let's just say they go to the finals. Either team, the Raptors or the Bucks, are not going to get swept, and they're not going to lose in 5 games. That's just me. I think that if they go to the finals, I think that series, depending on how healthy KD is by that time, I think that series is actually going to be interesting compared to last year, where it was just the only intrigue behind the finals last year was, could the Warriors sweep?
Keep in
That was only
keep in
intrigue.
mind, both teams would have home court advantage against the Warriors. Both teams had a better record than the Warriors in the
That's
regular
huge.
season.
That's huge.
Are
So-
we actually entertaining this possibility right now?
Yeah.
that the
Why
Warriors look last finals it was 4-1, right? Most boring NBA
4-0, I
Finals
think.
series
I think it was a
I've ever
sweep.
watched. No, it was not a sweep.
Oh, really?
LeBron won one game. One game.
LeBron won game 4.
The second game. Yeah, the
Game
second
4.
game at Cleveland. Okay, so I don't think this is gonna be a.
I love how we don't say the Cavs.
You're
won
wrong.
game 4.
You're wrong. It was
Last
a sweep.
year was a sweep.
It was
The
a
year
sweep.
before that, LeBron.
It
went
I have it
5
right.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're
That's
right.
terrible. So look, that's not gonna happen this time, in my opinion. I don't think it's a sweep. I don't think it's that clean. I don't think it's 5.
Greg, I think Warriors in 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
against
I
either of
think
these
fair.
teams.
I did Warriors
Sure.
in 6. But again, we wanted to talk about.
Okay.
I think the Bucks and Raptors having home court advantage makes a big difference.
Now that the
Exactly.
boring
That's
stuff
huge.
is out of the way and we've acknowledged
Yeah,
the fact
Josh,
that
I
the
think
NBA
we need to move on.
is the worst of the 4 major North American
I think we need
sports
to talk
franchises.
about the fans that make the NBA what it is.
Okay,
So, I'd like to start. I'd like to start.
Fans that make the NBA the stupidity that it is.
Yes.
I'd like to start by reading an article, or the first bit of an article from the LA Times, entitled "Lakers Fan Protest Arguably a Rock Bottom Moment for Storage Franchise." I'm gonna try and get through this without laughing. George Murray and Jacob Samuel, because of course those are their names, have seen and heard enough. The 18-year-old Calabasas High students weren't alive when Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal won their first championship together with the Lakers in 2000. They were 8 when the Lakers won their last title in 2010. They have no vivid memories of the Lakers dynasty they've heard about from friends and family, and they are tired of it. So they left school early Friday with 5 classmates and made the 1-hour drive to Staples Center to join about 30 other Lakers fans protesting the leadership and direction of the team. Quote, "I should be in school right now, but I'm not because this is more important," end quote, said Samuel, holding a sign that read, "Genie plus Rob equals a photo of LeBron James crying."
Can I just stop? You said these guys were seniors in high school. He might be right that being there is more important than being at school, as we know.
Okay,
Where are these kids going to college? Which college? Which college?
Don't even discuss that.
Lakers-
Please, don't even discuss college, okay? These kids go to Calabasas High School. I didn't even know that existed, okay? That sounds like a private school, not like an actual public school, okay?
Oh, God. What is up with these kids? I just... Look, Jacob.
This is the future of America. I'm sorry. I don't care about NBA, MLB, whatever, okay? This is the future of America you're looking at right now. These are the people that are this next generation, supposedly smarter than the previous one, okay? This is embarrassing. I am embarrassed as a Los Angeles Lakers fan to see people show up to Staples Center on a Friday
You should
afternoon.
be humiliated. You really should be humiliated.
I don't want to wear Lakers gear. Ever. I'm embarrassed, okay? You have people showing up to Staples Center on a Friday, okay? You have people showing up to Staples Center protesting the fact that management in the Los Angeles Lakers organization is not good enough.
Hold on.
Look,
These people who apparently don't work because they were adults there.
what did I tell you on
They
Friday?
don't work.
Before you read the article, I told you on
Priorities,
Friday.
bro. Priorities.
Hold on. I told everybody here on Friday that if you took the unemployment rate of the people at the protest,
It's
it
probably
would
like
be
70.
damn near 100%.
It would be a lot more than their win percentage, that's for sure.
Look,
Maybe
let me-
double their win
Let me
percentage.
finish, please. These people who don't work got off their butts in LA traffic
Not their
on
bus,
a Friday.
their Mercedes SUV. Not their
Sorry,
bus.
Paid
sorry,
for by mommy and daddy's
took
credit
their
card.
mommies and daddies Mercedes SUVs, drove in LA traffic on a Friday afternoon down to the Staples Center in a society where protesting has become a norm for things like immigration, the presidency, things that matter. Instead, these spoiled people who haven't had a championship since 2010, literally the Padres are a franchise since
That has
1969 that has never had a championship. You get
Have
off
you
your
met a
butts.
Browns fan?
Look, can I?
You
Can
get off
I-
your butts.
I'm
You
right
get off
here.
your- and you
No,
protest your
Can I
management
speak?
that
Okay,
signed
okay.
LeBron James. The management
Caleb.
signed LeBron.
I am a Suns fan. Okay, I think that just explains it all.
Correct. Did you see the
I'm
interview
not-
of the Suns
I'm not
fan who was there?
complaining, and
Did
I'm
you
a
see the
Suns fan,
interview
and
of the
they
Suns
suck.
fan who was there?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I'm
It was
here
so
because
funny.
this is the
It was so
funniest
funny.
thing I've ever seen in my life. This
Yeah.
makes me so happy I can't begin. It was amazing. Okay,
Listen,
let me
You see
just
me
jump
crying
in.
to my front office.
Let me just jump in and say something here. Look, as the viewers know, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan.
Really?
Okay? It's not fun sometimes, okay?
sometimes
We went from 1999 until the 2017-2018 season without making the playoffs. No one rioted in front of the stadium.
Okay,
No one had-
riot's an overstatement. I'm
No
sorry.
one had protests in front of the
These-
stadium.
Okay.
No one yelled at the owners for not getting another star. No, what happened was they waited patiently. They made the playoffs 17 years later, and when the plane landed from out of town, the fans were there welcoming the team, celebrating. Because that's what real fans do. Real fans do not stand in front of the stadium and protest to the owners that they need another superstar. Not a superstar, another superstar to go along with the best
So-
player in basketball.
You brought in football. I'm just gonna take it to the NBA. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. Since Derrick Rose, since Michael Jordan
Michael
left,
Jordan
the Bulls,
left.
they have been a disaster of a franchise that has gotten so unbelievably unlucky. You think they got lucky with Derrick Rose? Yes, they made the playoffs. It was awesome. Obviously, we know what happened to Derrick Rose, and I don't blame Derrick. I don't blame the franchise. After that, though, the ownership and the management team, Gar Pax, there's petitions online to get them fired. You don't see Bulls fans not showing up to games. You don't see Bulls fans calling it protest
Lakers
outside
fans
the
still do show up to games.
It's not Lakers fans, it's celebrities. It's an event in LA. You see actual fans of a sports team, the Chicago Bulls, going to games. You don't see them calling a protest in front of the United Center. Why? Because it's sports.
Mhm.
You don't protest sports.
Right. Keeping it in the NBA. Take pre-LeBron, pre-2003, the Cavs. The Cavs were an unmitigated disaster before they drafted
The
LeBron
Cavs have been a
James.
disaster for their entire franchise, other than when LeBron was there.
Correct, exactly. And you don't see
Even the 4
Cavs-
years he was gone,
you
they
don't-
had the #1 pick
you don't
twice.
see Cavs- Okay, let's take it out of the NBA. Let's take the Miami Marlins. The Miami
good
Marlins are
Lord.
an absolute mess. They stumbled their way into 2 World Series and have not made the playoffs outside of that since their inception in the 90s. You don't see the Marlins don't have fans, so this isn't really
Marlins
that
man.
bad,
Hold
but
on.
you don't see Marlins man out here protesting.
Do it
Marlins
alone.
man is protesting because Derek Jeter wasn't very nice to him. Marlins
Listen.
man isn't protesting because the Marlins suck.
This podcast, I promised myself I would not discuss the state of Florida. Okay.
Oh
on
my
this podcast.
god.
If
Oh my
we're talking
God.
about protests, the only state that should ever have a protest should be in Florida. Look, when you have an NFL quarterback, who if I did a census survey of everyone in America, right?
And asked
How do you know this quarterback?
90% say
No.
crab legs.
Okay, first you say yes or no. If you say yes, where do you recognize
Crab
this
legs?
person?
Alleged
Crab-
rapist.
Stealing crab legs
Crab
from
legs.
a Publix.
Uber
From
driver.
a Publix restaurant. Do you know how much publicity Publix got from
Publix
this
isn't a
crab
restaurant,
leg?
it's like a deli.
Yeah. Look. He stole it. You have a quarterback who was the #1 overall pick in the NFL draft, known more for stealing crab legs than playing quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You have an offensive coordinator named Byron Leftwich, who was known as a backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What traumatic experience did you have in Tampa, dude?
Listen.
Yeah, but
You
what's
have,
your problem
you have
with
no
Tampa
running
Bay?
back. You got Peyton Barber as your running back.
What do you have
Boss,
against Ronald Jones?
Look.
What do you have against Ronald Jones, Milad?
They should have been protesting for years over there in Tampa Bay. Now let me bring it back to basketball. For years they should have been protesting in Tampa Bay. Every year they should have had a parade protesting. They should have brought
But, like,
crab
it
legs,
just got
whatever they wanted to
swept.
do. Okay, listen. The Los Angeles Lakers brought out. Look, I don't agree with the organization and a lot of the things they've done. Jim Buss, I didn't like. He could have had Phil Jackson. He was too stupid, and he went and brought Mike D'Antoni. Jeannie Buss was supposed to be better. She's turned out to be the same, right? And this is the theme of Los Angeles. This Lakers team is the exact theme of Los Angeles. Do you want to know why? Because the kids who went to the protests, right? Who are these kids? They are kids of someone who's super rich
Kids and adults.
and gave them quote unquote adults. Now, look. If you
That's
that
like kids do stupid
listen,
things.
hold
Adults
on,
should not
hold
be
on.
there.
If you were at that protest and you were not, if you were at that protest wearing a Lakers jersey, you are not an adult. That right is revoked from you immediately. Okay? Let me just explain something. You have people going to this protest whose parents are very affluent and gave them a wonderful life in Calabasas, and they go to Calabasas High School. The rough streets of Calabasas High School is where they go to. All right? I mean, you can't even. I don't even want to get into that.
They're mingling with the Kardashians.
Yeah, I mean they're friends with the kids of the Kardashians. Okay, here's the point. They went to the protest and decided to show up to a protest and talk about and voice their displeasures with the team. Okay, one of the guys suggested that they hire LeVar Ball, sign
Okay,
LaMelo Ball,
I'm just gonna play
and
devil's
draft
advocate here.
and draft.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm pretty sure that
D'Angelo.
sign was a joke.
I really
Okay,
hope it was a
but
joke.
I'm gonna.
You never know with these people. You never know with
That's
these
a
people.
good
Going
So-
off that point. Sorry,
Can I just say one thing?
this
This is really important. Milad, what traumatic experience did you have in
Okay,
Tampa?
you already said that. Okay.
Like, no, I really want to know.
Okay.
Look, I like Jameis Winston coming.
Oh,
Okay,
shut
we're not.
up.
Okay.
I was
To
We're
right.
further
not
your
talking
point-
about
to further
James
your
Winston.
He
point-
asked me a question.
I
What do you want
asked
me to
him. I
do?
want to hear his answer.
Look, I've been waiting for Jameis Winston to become the star quarterback everyone said he would be. I've been waiting for Tampa Bay to actually become a team for once. It's never happened. When have we talked about Tampa Bay on a
Bruce
podcast?
Arians is a great coach.
Okay.
You need a lot more than a coach.
Going
over
back
there,
to your
trust me.
point about you never know with these people. I'm sorry. I'm going through this article right now that I cited before. Catherine Kim, I'm reading it now. A 29-year-old Lakers fan from Orange County is expecting her first child this August. She hopes that her child is able to grow up and see the Lakers win championships like she did. Sure. She held up a sign that read, "This future mom is protesting to make sure her baby becomes a Lakers fan."
Again, that's a teenage pregnancy. That is not an adult.
She was
Okay?
29.
I don't care. You get that revoked. It's revoked.
It's like
I
you
don't
guys see
care.
Family Guy where
No,
Joe's
there's
wife
not.
is pregnant for like 3 years.
I'm sorry. Mentally speaking, you are not an adult. You are 29 years old showing up to a protest of the Los Angeles Lakers. Done. It's over.
I-
Bro,
Dude,
they didn't get
please.
Ty
Here's
Lue.
the thing. Here's the thing. There's so many. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to determine my biggest issue with this protest. There's just too
It all
many.
started
It
over
happened.
Ty Lue.
It started over Ty Lue. The Lakers have LeBron.
Okay, I'm sorry. To any
It's like
Lakers, I know we
They
don't have-
screamed in the streets, "We want a star. We need a
Okay, here's
star."
the thing about the star. I don't know how many people listen to our podcast. It's not a lot. I upload
Can't
the
get
videos.
more
okay?
of a
Okay,
star
you-
than LeBron.
No, not even that. The Lakers couldn't get Ty Lue. What makes you think they'll get Anthony Davis? What makes you think they'll get Kevin Durant?
Hold on.
What makes you think they'll get Kyrie Irving?
Ty Lue played in a Los Angeles Lakers uniform. The one moment we all recognize Ty Lue for in a Los Angeles uniform is Allen Iverson crossing him over, hitting a shot in his face, and stepping
Yep.
over him
Yep.
as he was laying on the ground looking up
Just
at
like
him.
the Lakers
Okay.
stepped over him for coach.
Yeah, listen. This is the problem with the organization as a whole, okay? Look, the people going to the protest, in my opinion, are representative of the people in this organization. You have a woman who is running this organization that is the kid the kid of Dr. Buss. I think everyone can agree here. Dr. Buss was one of the best people to run this Lakers franchise.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Look
one
at
of the
look
best.
at the Lakers' history.
One of the
They're an
best.
incredible franchise.
But if you want to talk about the problems, and this represents this team and even the city as a whole, their kids are the ones in charge now, and they don't know what they're doing.
It's not just that
They
they
have
run.
no clue. Had Jeannie Buss not gotten in a relationship with Phil Jackson, he might have a chance of being the coach of this team. It's possible. That bridge is burned, gone. Okay.
Another
Then,
thing.
then the people showing up to the protest are kids of super rich people, probably plastic surgeons, whatever they are, out there in Calabasas.
With
That's
their
my
signed
problem.
Magic Johnson jerseys hanging up in the
Everyone
sun.
running this organization is the kid of someone. Someone famous or whatever, they're the kid of. I mean, you show up to a protest? Really? Really? People are working right outside. Make a left. There's people in a building working from 9 to 5, going home trying to pay their bills. You spent your time at a protest complaining about LeBron James? Are you kidding me right
Yes,
now?
Milad,
really
go
seems
on.
about how-
Are you kidding me right now?
It really seems like this organization and its surroundings and fans could be the show that airs after Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
This is the problem with this country.
really seems
Everyone
like
is
it.
soft. Everyone is soft. We need safe spaces all of a sudden. Then you create people like this. This is what happens when you have a safe space. People like this come out. I mean, come on now. For Christ's sake, Industrial Revolution, people working at the age of 2, they put them to work. They put them to work at the age of 2. These people are 18 years old, taking a gap year, spending their parents' money, not going to college, and coming to the Staples Center to protest the Lakers, who have LeBron James, one of the best players in NBA history. Are you kidding me? I'm done. I'm never wearing a Lakers uniform until this is fixed. The only parade that should have happened was when Kwame Brown was traded for Pau Gasol. That's the only parade I ever want to see.
Hey, Kwame and Kobe once combined for 63 points, okay? Yes, Kobe put up 62 of them, but Kwame contributed,
When
okay?
they got rid of Kwame Brown and Javaris Crittenton, that is the only time I ever want to see a
Well,
parade.
I want to add to your point. You're talking about this. The Lakers run the organization off of nostalgia. All they think is, oh, we were this, so that's going to work again. Bring in Magic Johnson. He was a great player. Suddenly he's going to be a great executive. The entire team is run off of, we were this, so we have to be this.
They
Learn how to run a modern NBA
Correct.
basketball
They
team.
still go with the. I talked about this in the last podcast. They still go with the mentality that free agents will flock to them because they're the Lakers. That is no longer the case because the Lakers, as we can see, are an absolute mess.
Here's the thing. This protest started because they did not hire Tyronn Lue to be the next head coach of the Lakers. They didn't know this at the time of the protest, but now we know that the next head coach of the Lakers is going to be Frank Vogel, and he will have Jason Kidd on his staff.
As an assistant, yeah.
That's a better coaching staff!
I'm at a loss
Hey,
for
Ty
words.
Lue wore a Lakers jersey.
Look,
Ty
look.
Lue wore a
That's a
Lakers
better
jersey.
coaching staff!
Look, man, I just don't know what to say. These are not fans of the Los Angeles Lakers. I think we can all agree with that, okay? They all...
These are morons!
I mean, Jesus, it's just... I don't know.
I think at this point, there's honestly nothing more we can say other than it's just unbelievably disappointing that these are the people representing kids our age.
Sure.
Yeah,
I am
100%.
embarrassed.
Correct.
I am embarrassed. If
Correct.
I ever see a parade like this, I swear
Protest,
to
it's
God,
not a
I will
parade.
run.
You
okay?
counter protest.
This is
No,
embarrassing.
It's honestly what's happening to kids our age, which is nowadays kids think they can just go protest whatever they want. Protests don't mean anything anymore. It's a mockery of just what the rights we have. It's a mockery of being our age, and it makes us look bad. It makes kids our age look bad.
That's why
And
I'm going off
let me
about
finish.
this.
This is the reason that adults don't trust us. This is the reason that people don't trust us, and this is the reason we're seen as immature, especially our generation. We have Lakers fans protesting their team management because they didn't make the playoffs. They have LeBron James.
Would
a
you like to
sports
tell me
team.
how many championships they've won?
16!
The Lakers' longest playoff drought is happening right now. You know how long it is? 6 seasons.
But that's the
6.
point, Jake. We can talk about how stupid that they're protesting the Lakers. I don't care if their freaking playoff drought was 70 years. You're protesting a sports team.
Yeah.
A sports team.
No, if your playoff drought is 70 years, it's different.
No,
No.
shut up.
Josh, I'm not.
Cleveland
Cleveland
went
went
0-16. 0 wins
on.
in a season.
Hold on.
They held a
Multiple
parade.
times.
They
Come
won
on.
Was there ever
52
a
years without a
protest?
championship
Milad,
in all of their teams.
Milad, you agree that the biggest issue is not that it's like the Lakers fans protesting, it's that fans of a team are protesting their front office and making a mockery of what a protest
In the
is.
snobbiest way possible. Look, I think we can all agree there are great criticisms of the front office.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Every team except for the Warriors right
Right.
now.
So my point is, look, it's one thing to have good criticisms. When I see people show up to this event acting the way they did, conducting themselves in that manner, I'm sorry. You could be 45. You're not an adult. It's over. Done. Your mental age is to someone that's 5, okay? You know who would do this type of protest? A bunch of 5-year-olds. You know why they can't do it? Because mommy won't drive them, okay? Now you gave a bunch of people who could just drive around and show up. These are a bunch of rich kids who are out of touch, have no understanding of how life works at all. And then they show up with their stupid signs. They get... A news truck came down there and interviewed these people? Are you kidding me? We're taking this seriously? This is a mockery. This is something that should have been on Bleacher Report Instagram, not on the local news, for Christ's sake. I mean, my God.
Okay, so as Milad continued to call the people who went to this protest 5-year-olds, I would like to give them a voice. For if anyone who went to this
They
protest,
already had their
listen,
voice. They went and
listen to me,
protested like a
listen to
bunch
me,
of
listen to me.
idiots, and they had nothing
If
to
anyone,
say.
if anyone who went to the protest is listening to this podcast right now, I would like you to reach out to us. Go on Instagram, look up CCA Pulse Mag on Instagram. That's our Instagram account for the magazine that we all write for. Go ahead and DM that account your explanation of why you went to this protest and why you think it was the right thing to do. We would love to hear it.
I would love to hear about how all the real problems facing our society don't matter. You're not going to go protest any of that stuff because you're sitting in your comfortable houses with your Lamborghinis and Maseratis and daddy who's going to pay for everything and pay for you to Uber down or drive down to Staples Center and protest. I want to hear why you did that, and don't stand up for anything else. I mean, maybe you do, but I find it hard to believe. And why you're making a mockery of a right that you have that you're taking for granted and taking out on a sports team. It's shameful. It's shameful. I really think we've exhausted.
Pretty funny.
It's hilarious. But
It's hilarious how stupid they are.
Correct.
That's what's hilarious.
And how much of a mockery.
Have we
it is.
even mentioned that this is this is not even a first world problem? I don't even think you can classify this as a first world problem.
This is like
This
a
isn't a problem.
Yeah.
This isn't a problem. This is nothing to be complaining about. The fact that people actually showed up, the fact that this was televised, this was considered an actual event in history. I want this erased from any book in history. Anything. This should be erased.
You can't erase history.
Erased.
Milad. You can't erase
It needs
history.
to be.
Nope.
This is the biggest blemish on. I swear to God, they're gonna make it 30 for 30. And they're gonna discuss
I
this
hope
protest,
so.
and
I hope
everyone is
so.
gonna laugh at how
Oh,
stupid
good
they
I don't know
were.
if you
Lord,
guys, I don't know
so.
if you guys watch SB Nation on YouTube, and they have a series called Collapse where they talk about franchises that just fall apart after like reaching the pinnacle. Like they did one after the Giants won 2 Super Bowls. They did one after the Marlins World Series, after Michael Jordan retired. I want them to do something from like since 2010, since their last championship, how we got to this point. How we
If
got
you
this
think
I
about
guarantee you it's coming in
If
the
you
next
think
week.
about
Yep.
it, what started it, if we're gonna talk about it, I mean, look, this team after Shaq left was just nothing. Kobe wanted to be traded during when the draft was going on.
Right.
So many guys wanted out, right? No one wanted to come to LA. You had Luke Walton doing the jump ball. I mean, what are we talking about, right? Like I said before, they go and get Pau Gasol. They bring him in.
For Marc Gasol, nonetheless.
Well, he was not in a contract. He didn't play until years later. They traded Kwame Brown, which I think is impossible. The fact that someone could trade Kwame Brown is amazing in and of itself. Then they got rid of Javaris Crittenton, okay? Who, I mean, we can go do a biography on him. It'll probably be half a page. Anyways, the point is, they went and brought in Pau Gasol. They had a guy like Phil Jackson come in. Then they had Lamar Odom. And guess what? They still needed a
And
guy.
Derek Fisher. They also had
They
Derek
had
Fisher.
Trevor Ariza. Then they brought in Meta World Peace, or Ron Artest, as I'll call him. So on and so forth, and this team worked. Okay, Phil leaves, a couple guys leave. They go bring in Dwight Howard through a trade. They keep core guys that they needed.
Got Steve Nash,
They
too.
bring in Steve Nash, who, I don't care how old he is, was still useful. And Jim Buss refused to sit down and show the respect to Phil Jackson that he deserved and give him an interview and give him the job. Because he wanted the job. They could have given it to him. That's problem number one. So after that, it was just a complete demise, right? Then you got Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball. That was somewhat of a rebuild. LeBron came because of these guys, right? Or, I mean, at least he could put up with it. He could put up with it, right?
Sure.
Okay.
These were players that had some promise.
This
they
team,
still do.
This team is lacking a solid presence around the rim, number one. And number two, this team needs to figure out what they're doing structurally. Because they were a 4 seed before everyone got injured and before all the problems started. They were supposed to be a 4 seed, okay? At least, early in the season, but still. At their best, they were a 4 seed. I think this team can turn it around, but, I mean, it's a joke. This is the type of thing that would happen.
What's that going to take to turn it around?
What's that going to
Another
take?
star!
No. I mean, they're going to go try to get some guys in free agency. I know people keep talking about the Anthony Davis trade. Personally, I'm not a huge fan
I
of
think
it.
the only way that happens is if they win the lottery.
Look,
I've said it before. I'll say it again. The
I would-
only way the Lakers get Anthony Davis is by winning the draft lottery.
I would rather have Zion and go get a star center. That's what I would rather have, personally. If I'm trying to look,
What star center?
I mean, I don't want to say Boogie because he's coming off an injury,
Boogie's
but a
not
guy
coming to
to
the
the level of Boogie Cousins,
No
I
one's
would
out
take
there.
DeMarcus
Look,
Cousins.
here's the thing. Milad, I agree with you, but I think we've exhausted ourselves on this point. And just to wrap it up real quick, no matter what the Lakers do, again, because look, they have work to do. If they want to genuinely, we're talking about the front office. I don't give a crap about these fans. If the front office wants to build a winning team, they have work to do. A lot of it. They have a lot of missing pieces. Vogel and Kidd. That could be a good start.
I think it will be a good start.
I don't know if their intention is to keep Vogel, but I hope this team does good. Some people are saying he's going to make it good for a good puppet, and then they might slide in Jason Kidd as the head coach years down the line.
Which is fine.
But I just want this team to get back to consistently making the playoffs. That's the
Correct.
first step.
I'm going to come out and say one thing that I don't think we've mentioned yet. I think Jason Kidd is going to be incredible for Lonzo Ball.
I agree
Cool.
with you 100%.
That's awesome.
He's been compared to Jason Kidd.
Again,
many times.
awesome. These
I
are
think
these
it's
are
great
great
for
points.
Lonzo.
It doesn't matter. This team, I don't want them to win anymore. After these, I don't care if you say it's just a few Lakers fans representing the whole. After this mockery of what being a sports fan is, and just a mockery in general, funny
person
mockery,
is.
hilarious mockery, but a mockery nonetheless. I really hope the Lakers don't succeed, and I really hope those fans, those quote unquote fans.
And that's what I was telling you. That's why I'm saying I'm embarrassed to wear Lakers gear because
You don't
if
want to
these-
associate yourself
because
with that.
look at the problem that this is a first world problem, but still, I'm rooting for this team to succeed.
That's a first world problem.
No, hold on. Here's the dilemma.
Honestly,
I have.
rooting for the
Here's-
Lakers to succeed is a problem.
Here's the dilemma I have. I'm rooting for this team to succeed, but I realize that if this team succeeds, people like this are going to be jumping around like a bunch of clowns. Okay? That's just, I don't want to be associated with anything with this team, and I think Magic Johnson is one of the smartest people that in this whole situation.
For leaving?
First, he came in and said, I'm really excited. We're going to do a lot of things. 2 days later, poof, he's gone.
She realized how
Right
terrible
before
it
the
was.
collapse. Honestly, it's Genie Bus. It's this nepotism type mentality that has plagued Los
Spoiled,
Angeles and made it a
Can I ask you a
toxic
question?
environment.
Can I ask you a
Okay.
question? There's
Go on.
been some talks of something interesting that caught my eye the last couple of days.
Go ahead.
Do you think there's any possibility do you want LeBron traded?
I think that's ridiculous. I don't
That's
think there's
okay.
any return that you can get, and I don't think it's gonna happen.
There's definitely return that you can get for LeBron.
I heard
James.
Ben Simmons as a Simmons LeBron
Simmons sucks.
trade is being
Ben Simmons
explored.
sucks.
What is that?
Ben Simmons sucks.
Tell me
Compared to
anytime
LeBron?
he made a shot outside of 15 feet.
And
It
he's a
doesn't
forward.
matter. It's not his playing style.
He's a point guard. He should be able to
Supposedly.
shoot from
Supposedly.
outside of 15 feet. It's that simple.
I'm not gonna get into this with Josh. You bring up just stupid points.
Ben Simmons does not know how to shoot a basketball.
Ben Simmons, you don't need to you don't need to have a great jump shot to be a great player. That's just literally
You need a great jump shot, a good jump shot to be a superstar. Yes.
not necessarily.
Yes. Name one superstar who does not have a solid jump shot.
Most centers.
There are no centers in the NBA that are superstars.
Derrick
other than-
Rose for a long time did not have a good jump shot.
Yeah, sure.
Derrick Rose
But
was
he still made shots.
and Ben Simmons still makes shots.
Ben Simmons does not make shots.
He doesn't make threes. He makes shots. Like
Ben Simmons has
he can
never
make
made
a
a
mid-range
three in his
jumper.
career. He really can't.
Okay, Josh,
Really can't.
this is not the point. Whatever. You're just going on sidetracks that don't matter. The point is, look, Lakers are right now are just chaotic, unreal. But hope the rest of the NBA, as we talked about earlier in the podcast, is actually going in a good direction. Hopefully.
Yeah, I like the direction.
I like the direction the NBA is going in right now. Hopefully that can stay, and this Lakers nonsense can be thrown out, like Milad said, erased, and just whatever, and get it out of here. Because you don't see Clippers fans doing that.
And I actually think
Clipper Darrell was out of that protest
He's-
laughing.
God bless Clipper Darrell. Let me just say that.
A quote from
Look.
Clipper Darrell in this article. The next time Lakers fans want to do a protest, make sure y'all come out and show up. My pool parties are bigger than this.
Listen,
That's
So-
great.
so
That's great.
I think actually, to your point about the NBA going in the right direction, I think one of the ways it does that is Kevin Durant leaving the Warriors.
I agree.
I think that's the first step.
Also, we mentioned the NBA is going in the right direction. At this point, it's really hard to go in the wrong direction.
And Clay wants to leave too, man. Right?
Yeah.
Does he?
He wants to be treated like a superstar. He's one of the forgotten guys in that group. I mean, everyone knows the starters.
I
but
think Clay's gonna stay. I think Clay is gonna stay. KD's gone.
if KD is gone, I think this NBA goes in the right direction. I'd love to see him in New York. I know some of you guys don't like the Knicks because they're a big organization, just like the
KD,
Lakers.
Zion, and Kyrie would be fun to watch.
I'm sorry, I want everyone to Google Charlie Rivers. Charlie Rivers is a Lakers fan from Phoenix who organizes protests. I know we don't have video on this podcast, but I would like my fellow podcast members to look at this man. This man, Google him if you're listening. This man organized the Lakers protest.
Can we
Charlie-
find out how old he is?
He looks...
Anything above 18 is unacceptable.
He's above 18.
Go ahead, tell me.
Here's the headline from Bleacher Report. Lakers news. Protest organizer Charlie Rivers calls out franchise for nepotism.
I
Hey,
mean,
Milad,
it's true.
He might not be wrong.
He's not
but
wrong.
He's not wrong, but you don't hear Milad coming out and protesting.
He's 22, Milad. He's
Well,
22.
What school is he going to?
I have no idea.
Does he have a job?
He drove all the way from Arizona to
He
be
drove
there,
from
so I'm assuming
Phoenix.
he does not have a job.
Wow.
He drove from
I'm
Phoenix.
assuming he does not have a job if he drove all the way
Listen,
from Arizona.
I've
to
done
go to
that
this
drive
protest.
from Arizona to Southern California.
It's a long
He doesn't
one.
have a job. Okay.
He doesn't have a job. Correct.
Look. If you're gonna show up to a protest, like protests in general, look. There's some that have really made change, right? But these protests to me, it's just an excuse to
Protests-
not do anything.
Protest is what this forget sports for a second. Protest is what this country has been built upon. Look at the women's suffrage movement. Look at the civil rights movement. Protest used to mean something.
They don't
Now-
anymore.
Now-
Because the whole point of a protest is to bring call to action and then go home and do that action. The difference is now we go and protest, we go home and we go, oh, that's my work for the day. The problem is solved. That's the problem.
The problem
This
is
is
they
the
should have
problem.
no say in. They're fans.
How
You don't know you don't know shit about basketball.
this
You
this
don't know
country-
anything about basketball. Excuse my language, but these Lakers
What
fans,
for all our impressionable viewers?
these Lakers fans know nothing about basketball.
Correct.
And they are out there acting like the front office of a team. Real front offices are preparing for the offseason. What
No,
we've talked
this
about.
is what I mean. They think they're the front
And the
office
Lakers
because this is
offseason-
how they grew up.
But here's the
This
thing.
is how they
The
grew
Lakers
up.
offseason is preparing for the Lakers front office is preparing for the offseason. They don't care about what these moronic kids are doing. They don't care. And they shouldn't care.
Shouldn't have even been discussed.
Correct.
Honestly, they should have sent the K9s out there.
It should
They
have
should have
been
sent
discussed.
the K9s.
It should
Whoa.
have
I
been dis-
promise you.
Oh my god.
They should have sent the
Whoa.
police and some K9s
Whoa.
and just
Alright.
crammed them
I
out of
want
it.
to-
It should have been discussed so they can sit there while they're on their break and say, "Did you guys see the